It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Happy Thursday and welcome back. Obviously, we're back to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I know some of you guys want me to talk about what we just heard on Ronald Richards, but we'll do that tonight on our hot, messy topics. But for today, for right now, we're just going to cover last night's episode. Of course, you guys know I can't do this on my own, so we have two special guests. But before we do, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, show some love. You're not subscribed, get subscribed, and let's welcome Jason and Kempire. Hey, guys.
Hi. Hey.
All right. Okay. Somebody just said, is this for 11:30 a.m.? It says 11:30 p.m. Did it?
Does it?
No,
well,
I believe it said 11:30 a.m.
Let's double check and let me promote this.
Yeah, I want to double check too. No. Okay. No, it said 11:30 a.m.
Okay.
All right, guys. With that, we have over 150 people in the room. So let's go ahead and start the conversation. Kempire, I'll start with you. If you had to rate last night's episode of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
Oh, it was solid 9. I can't give it a 10 yet. It was a solid 9 just for Sutton's shade. I was not ready for all of those shady confessionals from Sutton.
She was shady as hell.
I loved it though.
When she said, Erika wants somebody to take care of her husband, but honestly, no one else is there and she's upset about it, but even his wife's not there. I was like, all right, Sutton, come through.
It was like the best.
I mean, okay, so Sutton's confessional did it for you, Jason?
I'm going to have to agree with that. Maybe like an 8. I found the episode so bizarre just with Erika's behavior and everyone saying like they can't believe something, but then they're like, yeah, Erika, and it was weird. But yes, Sutton's confessionals got me for sure, had me cracking up the whole time.
Well, we're still in Del Mar and they were applauding Erika because she shows up to dinner, and when she is in good spirits. At least that's what it seems like. But when she's talking and everyone's going around and they're like, we love this, Erika. We love seeing you like this. I'm kind of with Garcelle on this because you see Garcelle giving a little bit of a shady face. Love Garcelle. And Garcelle's looking like, why the hell are these women all like applauding her? And she's going on this whole tangent about how no one's there for Tom. Tom has helped so many people. Tom has always done the right thing. But then I'm with Dorit when she's like, right, he might have helped a lot of people back in the day. However, if these allegations are true, he's done a lot of really shitty things.
But Dorit didn't say that to her. She said it in her confessional. She just sat there and kind of nodded her head.
I mean, they're all kind of confessional. Like that's what I don't like. Like even Erika, when she's being nice to Sutton's face and she's walking with her and she's like, I want to apologize. I want to kind of move forward and know, okay, you said some things. It'll take me a minute to get there. But then when we see the producers talking to her, she's like, I don't want to fucking be friends with her. I don't like her. I don't trust her. I'm like, then don't say it.
They're all fake people though. I mean, this is Beverly Hills. We don't like the fakertry anywhere else, but we accept it in Beverly Hills because everything else on them is fake.
Okay.
This is sorry. I mean, and then you see Kyle Richards. Kyle Richards is sitting over here, like 1 second, oh my God, and then it turns on, oh my God. Like she plays both sides all the time. She's never with one person. It's so confusing. Her hypocrisy is almost at this point, it's laughable.
Before we continue on with the Erika stuff, though, I do have to applaud this woman right here because where is she? Crystal Kung Minkoff. Hi, Crystal. I have to applaud her because as someone, listen, I could be 110 pounds, and I'm a guy, so I know some people are like, Adam, you can't feel like this, but I could be 110 pounds or 200 pounds. Regardless, I am the most body conscious person. I hate I'm just weird about that kind of stuff. Jason knows, like when we go to the beach, whatever, I'm just super weird. Like I don't get dressed in front of people, undressed in front of people. I don't run around, which is kind of odd because when I was 20 years old, I feel like you couldn't get me to put underwear on. But now I'm just like a totally different monster. And for her, we see where she was uncomfortable putting on her bathing suit and doing this kind of paddleboard standing yoga. It was shady as hell, though. Lisa Rinna is talking to her about getting in a bathing suit, going out there and doing that. And then she shows up in a full-on suit. But I'm glad Crystal was able to come out of her comfort zone. Still, though,
I mean, she also did say that Lisa Rinna should be wearing the bikini. I don't want to see Lisa Rinna in a bikini, to be honest. I thought Crystal looked great in her suit.
I thought she looked fantastic.
And it was nice to see 2.5 seconds of Crystal for once.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't seen her all season.
Okay, Shady. Campfire, what were you saying?
You have to remember, earlier in the season, we found out that she had, I think was eating disorder. So it makes sense that she's self-conscious about that. And Lisa Rinna, Crystal, you should never trust her. She's always going to throw you under the bus, like Adam does to me every time I come on the channel.
Oh,
right.
I have not begun today. So you're poking the bear. I didn't even do anything to you, Campfire. What is this? This is I'm happy. Jason's getting on a flight. What are you talking about? This is all positivity and love here. Glass half full, friend. Kimber's like, yeah, wait till tonight. He'll be shady as hell. Just wait for it. All right. Well, when they're talking, I'm just going to skip all over the realm here a little bit. But when they're talking, Kathy Hilton, which I love her. I loved her on Watch What Happens Live last night. It was so funny to see her disengage. And I don't know if you guys caught but when Kyle makes any comments about their mom, especially like when she saw the Page 6 paparazzi catch up with Tom Girardi and she was talking about the blank stare. And she said, I didn't really think about it too much, but it kind of reminded me of my mom. Kathy Hilton does not like that shit. She gets really offended.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved
what it is.
Did you see also the one of the tweets or things going around this morning was the way Kathy Hilton like engaged with Melissa Gorga when she came out, how she was like, Melissa was all going in for the hug, and she's like, "Okay, no, girl, I don't want have anything to do.
You're an icon of Bravo now." And Kathy's like, "Girl, I've been an icon. What are you talking about?" She's like, "Do you know who my daughter is?" Like that's like kind of the claim to fame. And she's like, "If you don't know who my daughter is, you've probably stayed at one of my mini hotels." Okay, just saying. We all know the Hilton name.
Hotels.
All right. Well, we're playing a shady game of Never Have I Ever, and normally it's Lisa Rinna to bring up the games that really just take everyone out of their comfort zone. They start fights. It's Lisa Rinna's shady move, but it looks like Garcelle is taking a page out of her book. And she says, I want to play on this beautiful Pirates of the Caribbean sail yacht. This is what I want to play. Never have I ever. Now, it takes Kathy a minute to catch up with never, ever have I ever. Never, ever have I. And they're like, no, girl, that is not the game. But finally, she catches on, and Garcelle kicks us off with never have I ever stolen something. We see Erika go in her confessional and she goes, I don't like that shit. Like, just say what you have to say. Just say it. Be real. And I could tell Garcelle, I thought, in my opinion, Garcelle was trying to bring this up as a shady moment because everyone's over here applauding Erika for being this kind of light switch of a personality who's all of a sudden enjoying life. She has to smile. She's being nice to Sutton. And Garcelle's like, no. I'm not rolling with you guys on this shit. This doesn't make sense to me. Was it shady? Or no?
Though I didn't read. Because if you play that game, that is a common question within that game.
But is that the question you kick off with? Like, was that not? You didn't pick up on that?
We allegedly think that's how it was kicked off. We know editing too.
That's true too.
They probably cut off all the crappy questions. It's like, oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, there were a few weird ones, like never have I ever put on a strap on and gone to bed with my man. That was like. Dorit's like, who's drinking to that? But, we saw when Erika was talking about having any sort of hookup, she's like, I just want you to, I would be open to it, but I want you to shut up. Shut the gut. Shut your ging mouth. And she went in and Sutton's like, oh gosh, here we go again. Here we go. This is like the side of Erika that we all know. This side comes out. And I have a feeling that was from Erika geared over towards Garcelle and Sutton. I still, especially after watching the confessionals, we know that she doesn't like them.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. No. Erika was so bizarre this episode. It was just so bizarre. Everything was so bizarre. Like everything that came out of her mouth was just strange. It was also funny to see her with her B-list glam squad, the one who probably doesn't cost as much as the one before, and talking to them about how she needs plastic surgery. And I was just like, I mean, I don't not agree with you, but how are you paying for any of this? I don't understand it.
Well,
it just everything that came out of her mouth, it was just.
Well, I mean, I want to piggyback off of that too, because in the same breath that she's saying, about her glam squad and you know, she's like, I need plastic surgery. She's also saying, I have $0. I have no money left. So how are they getting paid? Are they just on a free vacation staying in your room? They just decided to go to San Diego? I'm not necessarily buying that. But one hilarious moment here was when Garcelle and Sutton, they were trying to talk about the night before, and they're like, I've never seen that side of Erika. They're on the phone with Lisa Rinna, and Erika's like, I can hear you, bitches. Thank you, Tamara Tattle. And Sutton's like, oh shit, I got caught.
I mean, luckily they didn't say anything crazy. They could have said a whole lot, and we've said a lot of it here on the channel. I mean, she's lucky that's all they said.
I mean, yeah, they could have said a lot worse. I'm just surprised. Like, again, production is so shady with even putting their rooms next to each other like that. But I feel like they know exactly what they're doing, so it is what it is. But I was confused when Erika is sharing the story, and all of the women are now finding out about the car crash and the snow and the burglar, and they're all like, what the hell is going on? Now, Crystal Kung Minkoff has jumped on the bandwagon. She's like, this is a lot. Garcelle's like, these stories are hard to believe because, well,
they're unbelievable.
They're unbelievable. That what she said? Yeah. And I was like, well, she's not wrong. This is a lot. And then PK, pan over to him, he even said it's statistically almost impossible which it's not impossible, but almost impossible for Tom Girardi to roll his car, come out unscratched, and then for her son to also do the same thing and come out unscratched. But we didn't hear that Tom came out unscratched. We heard that he came out with a TBI and a messed up foot. But now she's saying allegedly. Yes, he was allegedly unconscious. And Dorit was like, well, didn't you talk to him? And she's like, well, and giving us some Kathy Hilton shorthand. She's like, well, and Dorit's like, right. I'm like, can somebody say it?
It's just strange how they all just sit there and look. And was it allegedly snowing in Pasadena? Because Crystal is right about that. It's been a long time. You see snow on the mountains from Pasadena, but you don't really get the snow, especially where Erika's house is, which is right off the freeway there.
They talked about that on Watch What Happens Live last night, and according to Kyle Richards, she hasn't seen snow in Pasadena. And then Kathy chimes in the desert, it snows sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you can see snow on the snow caps of the mountain, but right where they live, no, I don't. Well, I don't know. It's very strange.
Megan Sue, thank you for the super chat. Garcelle is being the old Lisa Rinna. Everyone can shade Lisa Rinna, but she's not messy anymore, in my opinion. Garcelle is becoming very messy. Megan, I don't agree wholeheartedly on that, because I think Garcelle is sure it's coming off messy with editing by asking this question, but also Garcelle and Sutton right now are the people's champs because we want to know these questions. We want a little bit of pushback. It's not fun for us to watch Dorit and Kyle and Lisa all applauding Erika, but not looking like this shit doesn't add up. So we especially when they're so different in their confessionals. You know, I know those are of course taped later, but when Erika and Kyle are playing pickleball, you know, and Erika's telling her that, you know, she's telling her lawyer that she wants nothing, you know, I don't want anything, you know, and then Kyle in her confessional said something like, yeah, but I forgot, it's in my notes somewhere. She said, like, the most important thing is that the victims get their money. Right.
And it's like, why do you hold back? I'm not, you know what I mean?
I don't like that
all
either.
of the ladies. And I don't know what, because this episode kept me interesting because it was just strange, right? I don't know if I'm more excited to watch the finale or if I'm just want to get to the reunion at this point. I don't know what other information I can get from that last episode. Like, what else can we see? Unless it's just, you know, pomp and circumstance and a party and Kathy Hilton's house. I mean, I don't know.
Well, and at the end of the day, too, you know, Sutton is the only one. She's asked enough questions to where Erika has literally verbally eviscerated her. So now she's like, I'm not going to continue to ask the questions, but you know where I stand with this. So we don't really expect her to continue on with Erika because there's no point. She's not going to get anything out of it. And when she's shady in her confessionals, we understand it because we're seeing her do the same thing to Erika's face. Now, for Kyle Richards, what I don't get is if you're not going to say it, don't say it, because now that you've done it in your confessional, she's still going to see it. It's still going to come out. It's going to be talked about. So why don't you just bring that same energy to the table when she's giving you these stories that sound cockamamie as hell?
Because Kyle's not brave enough to do it. Kyle's not brave enough to do it. And based on what we're hearing, the fight between Sutton and Erika is not over. I think the finale, it's going to heat up again.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I could see that happening. This whole reunion is obviously going to be based around Erika, and anything that is not directly to Erika, it's going to be spidering off of how they all reacted to the Girardi scandal. Because like Jordan said, like you said, Jason said, we're not interested in Lisa Rinna's daughter's former relationship. We don't care about Dorit's wedding line, which I hope it works out. But these aren't things that it's not enough to carry a reunion. So all of it is going to be how the women reacted, their confessionals, what was said. Now I'm with you guys. I don't know if I need a 4-part reunion. I could have totally done with 3 parts.
Yeah, I definitely don't think. I'm willing to be wrong, but I really don't see. Definitely 3 parts I can see, but 4 parts. I mean, I guess we should. But here's the thing: Bravo is milking this for ratings and advertisers, and you can see it. I'm seeing it on Watch What Happens Live. Of course, they always have someone from Beverly Hills if it's a Beverly Hills night, but they are milking this.
Right.
It's a little shameful. It's a little shameful.
I mean, it's true. You know, they are milking it, and to watch it, it's interesting because they're doing the same thing with Jen Shah on Watch What Happens Live. After every Salt Lake City, now Andy Cohen has asked Heather and Whitney about Jen's allegedly shady business practices because that's the storyline. So I'm guessing this Sunday, I mean, if I had to guess, I would think that there would be another Salt Lake City housewife, another shady question about Jen Shah. But yeah, they're going to milk it. Of course they are. And we've already heard from multiple people, I believe even Dana Wilkie, that they're working on a continuation of the Housewife and the Hustler documentary. And now we know, as per, I believe it was Zach Peter or it was Kate Casey, that they're doing the same thing for Jen Shah. They're doing a documentary that gives a voice to the victims. That is going to be some next level shit. And I even said the other day, I hope for Jen Shah, because she was supposed to go to court in October. We were supposed to go to BravoCon and then go to court and watch what happens with Jen Shah. Watch what happens live with Jen Shah, really. And now that's pushed off until March. So if this documentary comes out and it's giving a voice to the victims and she's involved in a criminal case, this will not end in her favor. This actually will probably be the kind of nail in the coffin for her.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you say about that?
I mean,
she's worse than Erika in this particular situation. So I'm like,
she's also worse at defending herself, like, and playing the victim. I mean, Erika, like last night, I don't know what you guys thought. You know, when she says, if I'm too happy, then I'm not remorseful. If I'm too sad, I'm not sad enough. Like, I can't win, like that kind of thing. But Jen Shah like victimizes herself way more than Erika does.
Well, I have to say this really quick too. When it comes to both of them, I'm not giving Erika any credit, but I do agree. If she goes on and she's happy and we see her on social media as happy, she does not give a shit. That's how everyone's going to paint it. If she's remorseful, then everyone's going to be like, well, you weren't remorseful when you were spending the money. So unfortunately, you found yourself in a lose-lose situation.
I think she says if she comes off too remorseful, there might be some admission to some kind of guilt.
Right.
I'm guessing, but at the same time, there is a solution. Just stay off of shit, but instead we keep seeing that persistent posts and the persistent arguing and so just stay off of it is truly the answer. It's the answer for Erika, but it's also the answer for Jen Shah. Stay off social media.
I mean, for Jen Shah, it's a totally different circumstance because she's going around and she's hashtagging, free Jen Shah, and she's going on social media and she's continuing to film with her defense team. They suggested, please stay off of social media, stop filming the show. And she decided, no, this is my main source of income. Probably at this point, I'm going to continue doing the show and I will do whatever I want on social media. Unfortunately, I don't see that playing in her favor. And some have even labeled Jen Shah as a narcissist. Kempar, didn't you even say this?
It was me.
A narcissist because whether the attention is good or bad, she's here for it. But at the end of the day, it's almost like, are you understanding this is the Southern District of New York, 98% prosecution rate? Like they have millions of pages of documents. They are coming for your ass. Do we get that part? Or are we still just playing cotton candy for a TV show? Because I would not be filming. I mean, Kempire, would you be filming?
I wouldn't film even if I wasn't being charged. So look, she's going to jail. She is going to jail.
I agree. I mean, well, we'll see. She might be found not guilty.
Oh.
We'll see. But I mean, I'm not the court. I'm saying if you look at all of the details and everything that's come out, and from what former prosecutors are saying, Emily D. Baker saying, legal commentators are saying, it doesn't look good for her. It looks like she might actually serve time. Megan Sue, thank you for the super chat. Bravo and the documentaries are making money, but zero is going to the victims. That's the most problematic thing for me. Also, Jen Shah did the crime. Erika Jayne may really not have known. That's true. She allegedly did the crime, and that's another big difference in the cases. And there's still hypocrisy here. Listen, there's hypocrisy with all of the franchises, but a lot of people are also pissed off that Erika Girardi is facing a lot of backlash for Tom's alleged misconduct. Let's say that. But Coach Shah, on the other hand, is not. Everyone's leaving Coach Shah alone, and fans are like, why? Is it because Erika is a woman that you're leaving, Coach Shah alone because he's a man? It's not the same. What is the reason here? Because he was living under the same roof, obviously benefiting from the money that Jen Shah was making. He makes his own money, yes, but so was Erika. If Coach Shah is over here making $500,000 a year and Jen Shah's pulling in millions and he's still living a good life, well, guess what? Tom Girardi was pulling in millions, and Erika was also pulling in over $500,000 a year between being a New York Times bestseller, going out there on Chicago, Erika Jayne, the persona, the main source of income from Beverly Hills. Like, she was still at least pulling in $500,000. So I don't see.
But the difference between Coordinator Shah and Erika is that, first of all, you barely
Coordinator Shah. Sorry.
You barely see him on social media. Well, he's not on social media, and you barely see him on the show, and he's barely in town with his wife anyway. So I think that's part of the reason. But you're right, and I think we need to keep bringing that up while Salt Lake City is airing, is that he is still a part of the situation. And I do think there is some misogyny going on when it comes to Coach Shah versus Erika Jayne. But Erika Jayne, member on this show, and I'm just realizing this now as we're watching it over the years, how grossly she shared her wealth and flaunted it on the show. I'm like, ew.
But Jen Shah did the same thing. She said Erika was saying that she spent $40,000 a month on glam, and then Jen Shah came in, stepped it up, and was like, yeah, I spend about $50,000 a month on my team and glam. This is Shah Chalet. And then it was Brandy Redmond from Real Housewives of Dallas who was like, no, bitch, that Shah Chalet is a rental. You sold your home for less than $300,000. What is this? What is going on? So it just goes back to it. It's like Bethany Frankel said on her podcast, most people who have an immense amount of wealth, they're not really out here talking about it and flaunting it. And if you are flaunting it and you know that there's something shady going on behind the scenes, well, like Tamara said, that's a special kind of stupid.
I mean, based on Erika's behavior this season, she is definitely a special kind of stupid.
Especially her comment last night, which I also it stuck in me. What did she say? But Tom has done so much good for people, and I was just like, oh my God, girl, what are you doing?
With stolen people's money from victims,
right? They haven't seen it. Like, what is going on? It's. I almost want to see now how next season will go having Erika on it, because obviously she's not going anywhere. I want to see how, what's the recovery of Erika Jayne? What does that look like?
Well, she didn't hire a crisis management team, so it's going to look bad.
No.
Well, I want to bring this up really quick because this is interesting. Paul, again, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. Crystal's not learning because she talks about her hubby's wealth all the time. $1 million basement. I think there's a difference here, though. Unless there's something that we don't know. Because for Crystal, we can very easily trace her husband's success, how much money he makes. He works for Disney. I think it's kind of easier to understand, okay, think about The Lion King. It's made over $1 billion easily because people have had it for a long time. They do continuations of it. It's out on DVD. It's on Blu-ray. People stream it. It's everywhere. So I'm sure with all of the movies that he's done, even though you might not have seen some recently, he has made enough money to make it make sense when it comes to how they live. When it came down to Tom Girardi, everyone was like, okay, you're a high power attorney. You're making a lot of money, but 2 private jets, multiple homes, $40,000 a month in glam. I think that was a little bit different.
And also Crystal said that, she didn't want to spend that much, but she sees it as an investment. We have to also take in context what she was saying. She's like, normally I'm not spending money on things that I'm not going to, first of all, it doesn't make sense. She says she is the first one.
Right.
And her husband, Rob, is more the one who likes to spend his money. And I thought it was endearing how in this particular episode, she bought everyone a bottle in honor of her father, who also had Alzheimer's and dementia. And I thought that was a beautiful moment, even though we really haven't gotten a lot of Crystal. And I do think she needs to come back.
I do too. I think that even though this is her freshman year and some people haven't really loved her because she hasn't spoken up as much on the show, even Dana Wilkie said, she looks uncomfortable, like she doesn't want to be there and film with these women for hours and hours because she doesn't want to keep having these same conversations. But I don't know about that because Sutton, I didn't love her on her first season. I really didn't. In this second season, she's really showed out. Dr. Wendy Osefo, same thing. I was so sick of hearing about the 4 degrees. I thought it was amazing, but when we heard every episode, it was like, okay, well, what are we doing here? Now this season, I'm like, oh shit, Dr. Wendy Osefo didn't come to play either. So I think the sophomore season is really important, and it's a second chance for the women to come in. Now they're familiar with how things work. They're familiar with the cast and the cameras. And again, Dana Wilkie said, had she have had another opportunity after watching the confessionals and see how these women play, she would have done things differently.
I would be interested. I still am afraid about the whole Crystal being the new Teddy. She has at least a little more personality. We just I didn't see her this season. Also, someone called me out about this too, but I know Crystal has a very successful coconut water business, which is sold at Costco. So she's making money. So maybe she's paying for that basement renovation, but I'm indifferent about it. I mean, I don't know if I don't know. I'd be okay with the same cast, to be honest.
Well, that's exactly what you're getting, except for Kathy Hilton, because we don't have her confirmed. But Megan Sue, again, thank you so much for the super chat. Stockholm Syndrome. The more Erika Jane talks, I think she believes Tom. Maybe she truly believed in him. I hated Crystal in the beginning, but love her now. Okay.
I think next episode, the finale, we're supposed to get a big party at Crystal's house, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. Chinese New Year.
The Chinese New Year. So I think that will be a lot of fun. I think that will open a little more. Maybe that will change my mind before the reunion on Crystal.
Yeah, we have to give Crystal grace. And I told you guys at the beginning of the season, you're either going to love Crystal or you're going to hate her. And a lot of people hate her now. But I still think that's great for a reality TV star.
Right.
We have to put our producer's hat on. We're not hanging out with these people. We're watching them for entertainment. And I think she has potential. I thought Sutton last season had potential. I was like, oh, I can see where Sutton could fit within this group. And look, she shows up in her second season. So let's see what Crystal brings next season.
I agree with you. I think that she needs.
She has a diamond now, so I think that's Sutton came in kind of ready, but Crystal just got a diamond.
I'm also curious though. Had this story not have broke with the Girardi scandal, like how much Sutton's it's really right time, right place, wrong situation, but she was able to come out as sort of an MVP this season because she was questioning Erika's stories and thinking that they were absolutely ridiculous. However, if this wouldn't have played out, I don't really know what her storyline would have been. And if it would have been her and Crystal continuing to go at it, we would have been over that really quick. It's just like on Salt Lake City. Now we've had the conversation about Meredith Marks, her son, and Jen. We've had it for 3 episodes now. It's like, all right, let's move on. Same thing we thought about Crystal and Sutton. Let's move on. We've done this. What's next? We can't do that for 20 episodes.
No, and we can't have Lisa Rinna just being the heckler for another 20 episodes next season either. I mean, that's all she's been this season is kind of the person in the background. Oh my God, yeah, the hot toddy, good idea. Like she just like so loud and obnoxious, and
that's the perfect label for her.
When they're doing the wine tasting and they popped the sparkling, and she's like, "Wow!"
It's just that's all she is. That's all she has become. There's no storyline there.
It's over the top.
It's so annoying at this point.
When they were out on the bow and she was loud, and Kathy was like, "They're so loud." Yeah, it was Lisa Rinna that's the loud one. She's annoying. I could never, ever in life be friends with Lisa Rinna. First of all, because she's going to run me over with the truck.
Yeah, I have the truck. She has the private jet. She's gonna take your ass up in the air, and then she's gonna push you out. That's what's going to happen to you. That's that kind of friend.
Mind you, I still trust Adam more than I trust Lisa Rinna.
first of all, I don't even know if that's a compliment.
But now you have me thinking, because I don't know either.
Well, Jason, you're about to get on a plane, so I'm wishing you the best. But The Voice, thank you so much. If Cynthia Bailey can last for 10 years and have no personality, I don't agree with that. I'm sure Crystal will be fine. I thought Cynthia Bailey, she was great as a part of an ensemble cast because she sometimes was very reasonable, but also she was a good friend with Nene, and we saw drama here and there. I think that a lot of other people helped carry Cynthia's storyline sometimes, but I think that she fit into that ensemble cast member situation very well. Do I think she could have her own show? No. Not really.
Her
but also
really great though. She really, her confessionals used to be really funny to watch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and you know, I said this last night too, even with Bethany Frankel, it is so hard. People are like, well, I don't know if they can hold their own show. I don't know if they'll be able to do it. Bethany Frankel, everyone loved her on New York or loved to hate her. And then she tried multiple spinoffs and they didn't work out for her because she could not hold her own show. It just was what it was. And I think it's a lot easier said than done. Getting back to it really quick though, I want to talk about last night when we're watching all of this kind of transpire. We see where it looks like Erika's trying to get to a better place because she's putting on this front because they're on a girls' trip. And then we go into next week's episode at Crystal's house celebrating Chinese New Year. We see a couple conversations that are had. One is where Sutton calls over Erika and asks if she can talk to her. I'm wondering if Erika is going to flip back and be the Ice Queen Erika, or if she's still going to be warm and fuzzy, because I don't see that coming. And two is when Garcelle said to Lisa, I think that you should call Denise and apologize. I think you should call her. And Lisa's like, was that a segue into potentially trying to get her back on the show?
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, so, I mean, we can bring Denise back, but I don't want her back as a full-time housewife.
I agree. And I've said that I think Denise is going to make an appearance. And somehow next season, I think she'll be there.
Well, honestly, Kempire just did a video, I believe it was yesterday, where we heard that if Marlo Hampton is coming back as a full-time role, Nene Leakes could potentially be showing up too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nene Leakes, here's the thing. Nene Leakes trashed the network. And I'm not saying anything bad here because this is how Nene felt the network treated them. And she felt like, listen, I did the damn thing. I helped you guys launch this franchise. I was vital in this franchise. And she was. Nene Leakes, when everyone thinks of Real Housewives of Atlanta, guess what? It's not Cynthia Bailey. It's not Sheree. It's not, Candy Burris. Those are key figures, but Nene Leakes really was Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then she, of course, dragged the network and she said, this is what I experienced. This is how I felt they treated me. I felt like this was wrong. And she's like, bye, Andy. Now, how the hell are you going to reappear on Bravo? How would they let her back? That would be the biggest question.
They know people want Nene back, but they just, in their hearts of hearts, couldn't do it because of everything that transpired. But again, here's Bravo trying to profit and get those ratings up by completing this story. That's the way they're framing it. They want to complete this story because Greg was so important and Nene was so important to the franchise. They want to bring her back for that particular point. We shall see if she's going to be down for it. We're hearing 1 or 2 episodes, but Nene's going to want a lot of money for that. She might be mourning, but she's still a businesswoman.
Yeah. And she knows what her time is worth. Same thing with Tamra Judge. When they offered her a friend role, she was like, no, I know what I know what my time is worth. You guys aren't demoting me. I'm not doing that shit. And we lost a few key figures. And then Orange County season 15, the ratings were in the toilet. But for Denise Richards, she hasn't trashed the network, but what she did was kind of like a breach of contract because she had a 4-year contract with $4 million on the line, $1 million per season, and she only lasted 2 seasons. Now, another thing that she did was Bravo, King Bravo, put the cameras down, and she kept interrupting filming to the point where Bravo was like, okay, she's not going to stop doing this. We don't know what to do. Now we just have to play this footage of her breaking the fourth wall. So that kind of led us into now other franchises are doing the same thing. They're breaking the fourth wall. And now we know we have the Real Housewives All-Stars coming out on Peacock. And that's what the whole concept of the show is breaking the fourth wall. So maybe she started something new. I'm not sure. But there was a scene where producers chased Denise out when she walked out of a dinner and they said, if you leave now, we're done. And then she ended up coming back. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Megan, you said
we don't need her. We don't need Denise, but they brought her up so much this season. She can come pass through. She can come pass through. Don't even make her a friend of. Come through for a couple of episodes.
Yeah, she can pass through.
I think they should give her one paycheck for a one-time episode to really start us off, where Garcelle maybe comes to an event with all of the women and she brings Denise as her date. And then we see Denise sees Lisa Rinna for the first time. They have the conversation. We have closure and we move on. Like, I could do that, but I don't need Denise coming in and being a part. Like, you decided to walk away. I'm not necessarily missing Denise Richards on the show. Same thing with Vanderpump Rules. Jason and I watched it and we're like, ooh, is this going to be the same without your Vanderpump villains on the show? And I didn't miss them. So
rating, someone else did.
I know. I was just about to say that.
I mean,
I wanted to say something though. You know what they need? They need a Carlos King, because Carlos King was good for bringing on surprise people to shake things up. They need to do that. They need to bring in a Denise. They need to bring in an LVP just to shake things up. Shake it up. Come on.
Well, that's what are you talking about full time or just appearances?
Oh, just appearances.
Yeah, but that's what they've tried doing that before. They've tried multiple times with Camille. They've tried with Faye Resnick. They try slipping in these little key ones, like even Brandi Glanville, when she showed up all of a sudden and she was sitting in the car and Kyle's like, wait a minute, tell her to come up. Like, this whole thing wasn't pre-produced and contrived. Like, they try, but the problem is, especially after COVID and all of us like parked in front of our TVs like this, we've dissected these shows and we're like, that's bullshit. That's not even real. Nope, I'm done with this. I'm not watching. So if you really have to do it right, if you're going to do that, that's why I think
Camille needs to come back.
No,
friend of, not a full-time house friend.
Yeah, friend of. She's good for that. And I was just, when you were talking about Tamara Judge sitting back and knowing her worth, I was like, is Camille doing that? Because it's not going to work. But a friend of, because she brings drama.
Yeah, but I agree. I don't think she should be a full-time diamond holder at all. You know, even Sheree Whitfield, she knew her worth. She came, she left, she's coming back. Actually, she came, she left, she came back again, she left again, and now she's coming back. It's like, and I'm sure they're like, okay, well, you want the money. We need to make sure that this franchise works. Let's do it. But again, getting back to it, we know that all of the women are returning so far for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They start filming at the end of October. The only person in question is Kathy Hilton. Last night, she looked completely disengaged, like she did not want to be there. She does not play the same games that you guys want to play when you're flashing the stupid flashlight on your face and they're like spooky stories. She's like over here flashing it on the audience and like, where am I? And I love her for that. But I could see where she'd be like, okay, this was fun. We were going through COVID, but I'm getting back to my real life now. Where's the lady? Lady? Emmy?
We're still going through COVID, Kathy. So last night, Kyle said that she's having a bar mitzvah of 300 people. I said, oh, super spreader. Okay.
When she said that on Watch What Happens Live, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, California is still, like, every state is different, right?
Every state is still going through it. I mean, to an extent, yes. You know, everyone is. And
it's hard to see, like, even Florida, sometimes I see where a lot of people are like, well, Florida doesn't give a shit and everything's open. But you still see everybody here for the most
part. It doesn't
part.
Feel like that down here.
Yeah.
At least not where we live.
Exactly. You see everybody with masks and you still see, like, when you go out to restaurants, they have your shit and your table spread apart really far. And they're like, nope. So I know California, especially after talking to a lot of my friends, they're still really tight under wraps with restrictions. When she said a bar mitzvah for over 300 people, I'm like, did you not remember what Cynthia Bailey went through when she had her wedding on 10/10/20? She had to have this wedding and then she got so much shit for it. Kyle, you think so much about what you're going to say and do on the show. Bring that to the live show as well. Because you really got to be aware. Because even Kim Pyre's over here and he's calling your ass out. He's like, wait a minute, Kyle.
You know, usually I don't enjoy Watch What Happens Live, but lately I've been really enjoying it because there's just been so many slip-ups from Heather Gay to, you know, to Robin's outfit to Kyle last night. It's been really entertaining.
It has been entertaining. Well, with that, guys, we're going to keep it short today. Kim Pyre has somewhere to be, and also Jason has to get to the airport, so we have a lot to do, but I'm sure we'll all be back with pre-records later. And then tonight, Kim Pyre, do we still have you at 6?
Yes.
Okay, so tonight we're doing Hot Messy Topics. Jason's not here because normally he rambles on forever, so then it lasts about an hour and a half, but tonight we'll try to keep it to an hour.
I got to get on this plane.
Okay. He's so bothered. But we will be back tonight, and I will list the topics probably around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. I'll put it in my community tab. Kempire, I'll send them to you as well. We have a lot to go through, and we won't keep it all Beverly Hills. Trust me, after the first video this morning and this, I'm good on Beverly Hills for a second. Okay, let's move on. All right, Kempire, before we go, can you at least watch this, guys? Go ahead.
Guys, you can get daily and consistent content, Kempire Daily, here on YouTube, and be sure to subscribe to my podcast, Kempire Radio, on all podcast platforms. See, I kept it short.
You don't have to keep it short, Kempire.
I look forward to it, to be honest.
Yeah, this is a platform to uplift. Oh, okay. Yeah, and you have somewhere to be. All right, keep it short. Jason, keep it short and cute. Where can we find you?
I'm going to give you some Kathy Hilton. You can okay.
Okay. that translates to down with Jason, and Jason has his fan and his little old man ways. He is ready to go, so we will see him on the plane. Kempire will see you so very soon. Bye, guys. I appreciate all the super chats, super stickers, mods, and hanging with us in this morning's live. Of course, like I said, we have more videos coming, but tonight we will have a live, unfiltered conversation. So until then, have
fun with that, guys.
Happy Thursday, guys. Stay safe. I keep thinking it's Friday, but it's not. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right.